The world ocean occupies 70% of the entire planet, and man managed to learn only 5% of its secrets. It can be said that we have just entered ankle-deep water. But what waits us there, at the great depths of the Mariana Trench, has long attracted scientists from all over the world. According to the latest data, the depth of the Mariana Trench is 10,994 meters, which even exceeds the highest point on the planet, Everest. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. This motivates us to make new videos for you. What new topic would you like to see a new video on? Write in the comments. 8,848 meters. So this mountain could well be placed at the bottom of the basin. Moreover, there would be about 2,000 meters of water left on the top of the mountain. The pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is 1,100 times higher than normal atmospheric pressure. Due to the strong pressure, the bottom of the depression is covered with unusual sand, but with viscous mucus. For many years, the remains of plankton from the shell accumulated there, which formed the bottom. And again, due to pressure, almost everything at the bottom of the Mariana Trench turns into fine yellow thick mud. Sunlight has never reached the bottom of the depression, and we expect the water there to be icy. But its temperature ranges from 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. In the Mariana Trench, at a depth of about 1.6 kilometers, are the so-called black smokers, hydrothermal springs that shoot into water at temperatures up to 450 degrees Celsius. Thanks to this water, life is sustained in the Mariana Trench, as it is rich in minerals. By the way, despite the fact that the temperature is much higher than the boiling point, water does not boil due to very strong pressure. Several dives into these gloomy, as if otherworldly depths have already given a person so many mysteries that they will have to be solved for centuries. But the most interesting thing about the Mariana Trench is its inhabitants. After it was determined that there was life in the pool, many expected to find incredible sea monsters there. For the first time, the expedition of the research vessel Challenger encountered something unidentified. A device was lowered into the cavity, the so-called hedgehog with a diameter of about 9 meters, made in the NASA laboratory from heavy-duty beams of titanium, cobalt, and steel. Sometime after the start of the descent of the apparatus, sounds are recorded. The device began to transmit some kind of metallic grinding to the surface, reminiscent of the grinding of saw teeth on metal. And vague shadows appeared on the monitors, resembling dragons with several heads and tails. Soon, scientists became worried that the valuable device could forever remain in the depths of the Mariana Trench, and decided to take it on board. For a whole 8 hours, the apparatus rose to the surface, and when examining the skin, 3 of the 4 chambers were broken. Further examination of the deep-sea vehicle showed that the strong steel beams of the structure were deformed, and the steel 20-centimeter cable on which it lowered into the water was half-written. Who could do it? It's still unclear. However, perhaps this story was too embellished by the newspapers. Scientists today are unable to identify the creatures found at the very bottom of the Mariana Trench. An automatic probe took out a lot of photos and videos from the dive, which captured strange, in places really frightening creatures, 1.5-meter worms without a mouth, octopuses which look like mutants from Japanese cartoon creatures, or giant starfish. And here is perhaps the most amazing fact about the monstrous Mariana Trench. In June last year, British researchers published an interesting document, according to which the body of deep-sea crayfish from the bottom is literally saturated with toxins. The level of pollution was much higher than that shown by a house living in the coastal waters of the ocean, where waste from factories is usually dumped. Moreover, some ratchgoves even emitted radioactive radiation. But where does the radiation come from? A German research bathscaff with 3 scientists on board has already sunk 7 kilometers. When unusual, previously unseen creatures appeared around him. Subsequently, oceanologists described them only as dragons. They clung to the bathscaff's skin, and only a strong discharge of energy launched by frightened people in a special arc. She showed the whole bathscaff, forced to leave. Previously, scientists assumed that the giant prehistoric shark megalodon disappeared from the ocean several million years ago. But in 1997, a group of Japanese scientists works on studying the secrets of the Martian cow. She managed to raise a frightening video to the surface. A huge shark appeared at the feeder, a couple of tens of meters long, to which deep-sea goblin sharks are accustomed. In addition, fishermen in the net more than once came across very large remains of incomprehensible creatures. Once even a tooth more than 10 centimeters long hid. According to it, it was determined that this was the tooth of an extinct shark, which had a body length of more than 25 meters and weighed about 100 tons. Or maybe not extinct, but now living in the Mariansky. How many more secrets and incredible miracles are hidden in you? This is an incredible place. At a depth of 414 meters, the Koku volcano is located here. And, as it were, it serves as another proof that life originated right here, at the deepest point on the globe. In the crater of the volcano underwater there is a lake of the purest relaxed sulfur. Sulfur boils in this boiler at a temperature of 187 degrees Celsius. The only known analog of such a lake is located on the moon of Jupiter and on Earth. There is nothing like it in space. It is not surprising that most of the hypotheses about the origin of life from water are associated with this mysterious deep-sea object in the Pacific Ocean. At the end of 2011, researchers discovered unique natural stone formations in it, shaped like bridges. Each of them stretched from one end to the other for as much as 69 kilometers. The scientists had no doubts. This is where tectonic plates, the Pacific Ocean, the Philippines and stone bridges meet. In total, 4 of them formed at their junction. True, the very first of the bridges was opened in the late 80s of the last century. He struck them with his size and growth, which were the size of a small mountain at the highest point, located just above the Challenger Abyss. This deep-sea ridge reaches 2.5 kilometers. Why did nature need to build such bridges? Yes, and in such a mysterious place inaccessible to people. The purpose of these objects is still unclear. In 2012, James Cameron, the creator of the legendary film Titanic, dived into the Mariana Trench. The unique equipment and the most powerful cameras installed on his bathyscaphe Dixie Challenger made it possible to photograph the majestic and deserted bottom of the Earth. It is not known how long you would have watched. Local scenery will not arise. There are some problems with the car. In order not to risk his life, the explorer was forced to rise to the surface with National Geographic. The talented director created the documentary Challenge to the Abyss. Emptiness, silence, and not the slightest movement or disturbance of the water. No sunlight, no shellfish, no algae, not to mention algae. But this is only at first glance. More than 20,000 different microorganisms were found in samples of bottom soil taken by Cameron. How do they survive under such incredible water pressure? Another mystery. Also found among the inhabitants of the hollow is an amphibian-shaped shrimp that produces a unique chemical that scientists are testing as a vaccine against Alzheimer's disease. During his stay at the deepest point of not only the world's oceans, but the whole Earth, James Cameron did not meet any terrible monsters, or representatives of extinct animal species, or alien bases, not to mention some incredible miracles. The feeling that he was all alone here was a real shock. The ocean floor seemed deserted and, as the director himself said, lunar lonely. The feeling of complete isolation from all mankind was such that it was beyond words. However, he still attempted to do so in his documentary. Science still knows very little about what is located in the greatest deep-sea failure of the Earth. About the Mariana Trench, reliably keeps its secrets and is in no hurry to reveal them to man. Write in the comments if you like this episode and what else you want to know. Also subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the new video.